Hello, my name is Steven.
And my name is Nathan.
And we're from Level 1 Sword. Today is going to be another one of those different videos. Nathan, a friend of the channel, is back with us. And we waited a couple of weeks to do this. Well, more than a couple of weeks. Avengers Endgame, it's been out for quite
a month.
More than that,
a month and
I
a half.
would say. Yeah.
Right? It was April 20 something?
Yeah, and we're in June.
Gosh, man. Crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
So now that we're here and you know, it's been out for several weeks now. In fact, I think Captain Marvel is like on Blu-ray now.
I know it's digital. It came out on digital, yeah. Because everyone was waiting for that. Excited about that.
Everyone.
But yeah, I mean, the memes of Endgame are everywhere, so it's safe to talk about.
Yeah, the memes are out. I mean, Marvel is spoiling it.
Yeah.
They put out TV spots after a couple weeks that are just like, oh, hey, look at this, Captain America gets Thor's hammer.
Oh, really?
Hey. Oh yeah. They showed Hulk in his, bannerized form.
I see this as an absolute win. It's a great meme.
But yeah, so Nathan and I are here. We're kind of doing a spoilery review. There's not going to be a whole lot of structure to it. It's just going to be us shooting the breeze for the most part about the movie, what we thought about it. We each saw it opening weekend.
Yes.
And we've been holding a lot of things in. I do have of course, spoiler-free review up, if you give that a look, just to kind of get my very fresh, raw take of the movie.
So fresh.
So Nathan, tell us what your thoughts on the movie are.
Well, my initial thoughts when the movie was over was, number one, not as good as Infinity War. And I know you disagree, but dude, Infinity War in my eyes, it's perfect.
What did you like better about Infinity War?
Mostly Thanos, and I feel like it was paced better. And I realized that Endgame is paced the way it is for a reason. The beginning is very slow, so that you can feel the weight of their loss and feel like desperation. And I appreciate that, and it's cool. But I feel like Infinity War just it's paced faster and more thoroughly, and so I like that. But Thanos is just so awesome. Infinity War was Thanos' movie, and then Endgame was, mostly the Avengers, but mostly Tony Stark and Captain America's movie. But Thanos, he was just done so well in Infinity War, and he was awesome in Endgame, but he just wasn't in it as much. And of course, it wasn't original Thanos. That's really the reason. I can't go into the nitty gritty with everything and kind of pick apart why I enjoyed it more. And this is not to say that I didn't like Endgame or anything like that. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
My mind was blown by the end of it. I was just that was everything I wanted, But I don't think it stacked up to the setup, in my opinion. But that's just me.
Yeah, the reason why I like Endgame is because it's there's a plan that comes up, and the plan is executed, and there are results that come from the plan of, going through time and getting the Infinity Stones, which was a plot that a lot of people had guessed on.
Really?
And they were right. Oh, yeah, months and months ago. So, yeah, I liked how it was paced like that. Whereas Infinity War, the whole time, it's just them trying to basically keep up with Thanos' assault. It's them trying to respond. And it's just basically, it's like watching a car wreck in slow-mo, Infinity War, because everything they try goes wrong. Nothing they try goes right. Literally every moment that they try to stop Thanos, it just doesn't work.
Thanks, Star-Lord.
Well, he's just one of the problems, I mean, they might have been able to get the drop on him in Nowhere, but that didn't
right.
pan out. I kind of wish we had seen the attack on the Asgardian ship at the very beginning.
Yeah. I'm still confused at how any of them lived.
I'm confused how they lost, because they had both Hulk and Thor there. And it's Hulk was in hiding or something, because he apparently hadn't seen him yet.
I think Thanos just beat the crap out of them.
And Thor, he's almost at his prime.
Yeah.
And he's already beat up by the time we see him.
He didn't have his hammer.
But
and Thanos had the Power Stone.
But he was stronger without his hammer. It's like he was. They explained it in Ragnarok
Right.
how he was like, now he was like, the hammer was there to like help him focus his power. And now it's kind of like almost out of control.
Yeah.
But
Thanos had the Power Stone.
He did have the Power Stone. Yes, and he did have like all of his top generals and lieutenants with him. But I do feel like the whole time it's just like them just trying to like catch their breath, and I do like that in a movie. I just like the resolution, and the setup for it is great. It's kind of like how I feel about Empire Strikes Back. Like everything is set up really well for Return of the Jedi. Two Towers, although that's probably my least favorite film of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. Like,
dude, it's like my favorite.
It drags on. I won't get into it, but that is a setup for my favorite film in the trilogy, Return of the King. The only like famous film trilogy I don't feel that way about would have to be Back to the Future, where Part 2 is my favorite, and I know that's like a lot of people's like least favorite.
Really?
film
I like
trilogy.
Part 2 a lot.
I love
the third
Part
one
2.
was whack.
It's got the most time travel in it, which is what the series
the future stuff
trilogy is
fun.
about. And then we go back to the Wild West. It's like, oh, I'm just watching a western.
That one was whack, dude. I did not like the third one.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress.
We digress. Yes. Yeah. So I did want to bring up a couple of things about Endgame that maybe you didn't notice, but now that I've seen the movie 3 times, like when I go back, I try to notice things that I didn't pick up before. So the opening scene with Hawkeye's family disappearing, I loved how that whole scene is shot. Everything that's like a perfectly shot and edited scene when it comes to visuals and audio, and how they mix steady cam shots with handheld shots, and the way the cameras rotate around to like see the perfect angle, like when they first disappear. I loved how he's looking at his wife and sons, and he's not looking at his daughter. I think her name is Lila.
Yeah.
He's not looking at her when she disappears. I love how he doesn't actually see any of them disappear. And then when he's wondering where she went, then the rest of his family disappear. And as the audience, you know that the trail of ashes that you can just barely make out are their remains. Like that's where your family
Yeah, and
went.
you have the sound from Infinity War, like the thunder.
The thunder rolling. Yes, that's actually the thing that I wanted to really point out there. I think, like you said, it was in Infinity War when everyone disappeared, but it was also at the very end of Endgame when Thanos' army is being wiped out.
Yeah.
It was there too.
Right.
So it's like basically whenever the stones are used to erase a group
like a
of
power
people.
thunder surge.
Yeah, and I love how it's, because thunder is just naturally an ominous sound.
Yeah. Oh, that's true too, though. I thought the use of like the shaky cam was really good for like Hawkeye when he's like running.
When
over
he's
there.
running, it's like you're running along with him. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Let's see. So, and then you got the next scene with Tony and Nebula. They're adrift in space. Plenty of people have pointed out, like, how do you run out of gas in space?
Yeah,
like,
you'd keep moving.
Like, you'd keep moving. Yeah, but you wouldn't necessarily keep moving in the direction you need to go, number one. Number two, they weren't
you're gonna
moving at
die.
the speed
Yeah.
that you'd need. It's like, do you have any idea how big space is?
Yeah.
There's a lot of space out there.
Yeah, and they can't get into
space.
those jumps or anything, like, you know, like
Yeah,
they're supposed to.
the jump drives are damaged.
Yeah, they'd
That's
die.
what they call them. Yeah, they totally would. So that doesn't bother me that he's just like, oh, we're dead in the water. It's like, he didn't literally mean they're not moving.
Yeah.
Of course they're moving.
Yeah.
But when he's of course recording the log for Pepper when he thinks he's not going to make it out of there alive, he says it's been 21 days. No, it's been 22 days. Do you understand the significance of the number 22?
That was the amount of movies leading up to it.
Endgame is the 22nd movie. So that's of course that's got to be intentional. That has to be an Easter egg in there, just kind of slipped in.
Also, I noticed Howard the Duck at the end in the final battle.
Howard the Duck was in the final battle?
Or is that a fever dream? I thought I remembered noticing Howard the Duck.
You know, he could have been in there because
Yeah, no, he definitely was. The Ravagers showed up and he was with them.
the Ravagers.
Yeah.
Who are the Ravagers?
Like Star-Lord's people.
Okay, well, it's just been proven. Howard the Duck was there along with the Ravagers.
They brought him back. That's something that I noticed.
If only Stan Lee could have been in the final battle, which, he was alive when they filmed it, so he could have.
They never went anywhere with that whole... What movie was that? Oh, it was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, right? Where he was like telling them he was with those big...
Yeah.
The Watchers
The
or whatever.
Watchers.
That was so... I was hoping they would kind of do like hint more at that in some movie.
Yeah, so, because it's a nice explanation for all of his cameos.
I know,
It
it's so
fits.
cool.
Now, and during that final battle scene, did you notice that Wanda was actually able... So before I get into that, so Thanos' sword, the reason why it can actually cut through Cap's shield is because it's made out of the same metal that Stormbreaker and Mjolnir are made out of. At least that's what people think. And it would make sense because he had access to the forge, to the Dying Star.
Either way,
forge.
it's just some alien metal that... vibranium is an alien metal, so why wouldn't there be alien metals that can be stronger?
Right, but at the same time, I do think that it's probably the same metal.
Yeah.
And it could go toe-to-toe with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Which, by the way, that sword makes no sense. It's not practical at all.
Oh, yeah, there's not even enough room for him to hold it with two hands.
And it's one-sided, and they point in different directions. It makes no sense.
Well, so if you're spinning it, you're cutting one way.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty much the only reason.
It's too big, or the handle is too small for him.
But somehow it rotates around. I think
Yeah, he just spins it. But again, he wouldn't be able to because it's too small for his giant hands.
Well, when he's blocking Tony Stark's beam, he's using one hand to spin it.
Oh, so it just spins on its own accord?
I think it does that, yeah, because you know how it's got like the circular thing? I think the handle is like, and it goes around.
Maybe.
The blades go around.
It's okay, but it is perfectly balanced.
It looks cool, yeah.
As all
Yeah, that's right,
be.
yeah.
But, so, yeah, a lot of people are saying it's made out of the same material, was made the same way that, Mjolnir and Stormbreaker were made. And that makes sense to me. And that would explain why I can break through Cap's shield, because that's probably stronger. And of course, like going into the physics of, well, Mjolnir didn't shatter Cap's shield. Well, yeah, because vibranium it's a metal that specifies in dissipating vibrations.
Right. Also, it wasn't, and it was a direct hit to the front. It wasn't like a cut into the top. That's like what he did.
Right. And by the way, he had already fought him and taken hits with it before from the sword. So he was just hitting it on the edges and slicing bits and pieces off of it. So that makes sense. But did you catch that Wanda was actually able to break that sword a little bit?
No.
She actually knocked one of the tips off of one of the edges.
Oh.
When she was attacking him, and it
so awesome.
flung away. Yeah. Oh yeah. I love
rain,
that.
Fire, and
Fire.
Oh, that's so cool.
But my liege, our troops.
Yeah.
Just do it. It's probably it's one of my favorites. Just because I love how much Thanos gets his butt kicked in this movie.
But I love how much he kicks Captain Marvel's butt. That was awesome too. No, you're
using a power stone.
Yeah.
Why do you not like her anymore?
Also, why did that?
I heard you said you didn't think the movie was
in
bad.
Endgame. She was even more annoying.
You thought she was more annoying?
She was more cocky and ugh. And she just showed up there and she was like, "I'm gonna kill Thanos," and she had a Karen haircut, which makes her even ugh.
Karen?
Yeah, the I want to see your manager haircut.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyways, but does the CGI not look bad in that scene when she's holding up his gauntlet? To me, it looks like a fake. It just looked bad. Her head looked like it was on a floating CGI body.
Wrong with it. I mean, they could have done that. That could have been what they did. So that means that Wanda could technically break Cap's shield if she wanted to. She could just, which makes sense.
I mean, she can do anything if she wants to.
Yeah, she's reality changing.
I love her.
Yeah, she's really cool. So, and something I noticed between Infinity War and Endgame, when Thanos was done in both movies, when he had
sits
succeeded, he sits down.
Yeah.
And he just kind of almost has the same look, except he doesn't smile in Endgame.
And then he looks down right before.
But he always looks down, and then he kind of looks. Well, he doesn't look up in Endgame.
No,
his
last motion was looking down, and
yeah, but he was already fading and falling into dust. So
I got a little disappointed. Like, it's cool and poetic that he got dusted. But I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see like a corpse, like a Thanos corpse.
But you got that in the first 20 minutes, so
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Okay, so I didn't know how I didn't catch this the first 2 times, but there's no way Bucky didn't know Steve wasn't planning on coming back when he went back into the timelines to return the stones. Because when they interact together, Bucky tells Steve that he'll miss him. He's going to be gone for 5 seconds. Why you don't tell someone who's going to be gone for 5 seconds?
Yeah, he knew because he was like, "Go." He was like, "Talk." Like,
yeah,
he told.
But it's like I didn't even pay attention to Bucky during that entire thing. And then when Steve doesn't come back, when Banner tries to bring him back,
he doesn't care. But Sam is freaking out.
Yeah, everyone else, the other 2 are like get him back. I'm trying,
Yeah.
But Bucky's just kind of like. He's just taking it in stride because he knows what's going on at that point. And then he's not surprised to see Steve there older.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought that was...
Another great meme, by the way. No, I don't think I will. I don't know if you've seen those, but great.
So, and here's something it's probably... I wonder if it will be in the deleted scenes when the movie does come out on
video.
Video.
Like an extended version.
Yeah, so Tony was supposed to have a vision when he snapped. When he used the Infinity Stones, similar to how Thanos saw Gamora in the Soul Stone. He was supposed to see his daughter Morgan, but older, and she was supposed to like basically forgive him for sacrificing himself to save everyone. Like basically saying it's like saying that she's going to be okay or something like that. And I thought, and at first I didn't like the idea of it, but then I heard like, oh, it was in the Soul Stone. Well, yeah, that would make sense because Thanos saw the same thing with Gamora. And it would be, and I love the parallels, by the way, of 2 dads with their daughters and the difference between how those dads are dads to their daughters between Tony and Thanos.
Well, here's my thing. Like, I don't know if it make much sense because he didn't sacrifice his daughter to get the Soul Stone. I thought, to me, like that's what it was with Thanos. Was like because he, like he sacrificed her to get the Soul Stone, so that's why he sees her.
And then, but Tony sacrifices himself.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything to acquire the
save
Soul
his
Stone.
daughter. But to save his daughter,
he should have seen Black Widow.
Yeah, that also would have made sense. But then I also started thinking, well, Hulk snapped his fingers. Who would he have seen?
See, and that's what I'm saying. That's why it makes more sense that it's the person if you acquire the Soul Stone and you're using it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you see the person, because then their soul's like trapped, in the Soul Stone, I guess. I don't know how that works. It's trapped somewhere.
I actually read Infinity Gauntlet. It was free on Google Books, and I read the comic, and basically there's like a whole other. It's like a pocket universe.
Yeah.
In the Soul Stone. Now you can't really go off the comics. It's kind of like the Walking Dead thing. You can't necessarily use the comics to explain things, but yeah, I do think that that it's ultimately good that they didn't have that scene, because also it was an older version of Morgan, and the whole reason that they took it out was that audiences weren't connecting with her. Like, they didn't really...
Yeah, who is that?
They're just like, yeah, who is that? Oh, the little girl? Well, why don't I see the little girl? That kind of thing. So,
well, and it's a long enough movie as this.
It is a long enough movie, yeah, 3 hours. And it has quite a long epilogue.
Yeah,
which
it's true.
But I think it needs that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like when people complain about, Return of the King, it ends too many times. But it's just... because each of the different story arcs have their own endings.
Yeah.
Like, I get so impatient with people who are impatient with movies like that.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. But yeah, did you have any, let me see where we're doing on time. Oh yeah. We're probably good to wrap it up here. Any closing thoughts?
I just think, I'm trying to think of something negative about it. pacing. That's my main complaint. Pacing. I thought all the characters made sense. What they did. I thought all their character arcs were concluded pretty well, and some left open as should be. I thought Tony Stark's character arc, I thought that whole thing was awesome. I wanted that to happen, and it happened, and I was very satisfied. Steve's thing surprised me a little bit, but I thought it made sense for the most part, and it was cool. I think it was a really good conclusion to this epic Infinity Saga.
Yes.
And I can't wait for it to come out on DVD so I can watch it a few more, like, dozen times.
Yeah.
I've seen Infinity War so many times that, like, now I gotta watch that some more.
Yeah, I probably have seen Infinity War about as much as I've seen Endgame now. I haven't seen Infinity War as much.
Dude, I've seen it like
that much.
12 times probably.
You must really like it.
I really like it. I feel like the music is better in Infinity War.
Here's what does it for me. Like you said, you liked how Thanos was in Infinity War more.
Yeah.
But I like how Endgame shows him as the villain that he is. Like, I got tired of seeing all these people that were putting up videos and Reddit subreddits just saying, "Oh, Thanos was actually right. He's actually correct in wanting to eliminate half of everyone."
Well, it's like, that's the idea. Like, you're supposed to understand, but you're not supposed to, like, think he was right. You know what I mean? You're supposed to recognize the evil, but you're like, that's the whole point. You know, you're supposed to be able to sympathize with his motives, but not his method. Which is what I thought was great about his character. And then that's another thing I have to address. People keep talking about how it ruined Thanos' character in Endgame when he said that he was going to destroy the whole universe and he was going to enjoy like killing them and stuff. People say that ruined his character.
It revealed it.
Yeah.
You apparently didn't understand. Like, if you read the comics, I know I just kind of shot this down before, but
right.
If you read the comics, Thanos is a villain.
Well, like, and also it makes sense. Like, number one, he's younger, and he's probably more hot-headed, and then number two, he watched them kill him. Like, he
has been alive.
Right, I guess that's
going
true.
back to comic lore, he's been alive for like 1,000 years or so.
Well, it's probably not been that long. I mean, because he's like an alien race, but maybe, I don't know. But he also literally watched those people kill him. And so that's got to kind of make you, on edge and mad. Mm-hmm. And then also his explanation made sense. He's like, I mean, yeah, it's true. If you do that, they're not going to be able to move on. They're going to keep trying to stop it. So it's like, yeah, but here's my one thing. But I guess it's true. You're right. He's evil. So that's what he's going to do. But it's like, if your motives really are to save the universe, just instead of wiping out half of the people, make double of everything else. I don't know.
Yeah, Thanos, ever think of that?
I mean, I don't know. Like,
increase the food supply by double.
I mean,
well, here's the thing with we learned this from interviews with the Russo brothers and the writers of Infinity War. They were asked, so when Thanos snapped his fingers, did he just get rid of people? Did he get rid of animals?
Yeah.
Did he get rid of plants?
And they said all.
And life. They said all life was reduced by 50%. It's
so
like
plants kind of screws everyone over.
Well, yes, because you were just saying that there's basically broke down to a food issue with him. Like, there's not enough food to feed the universe. Well, dummy, you just erased half the food supply as well.
You can't just ignore what the Russo brothers said and just say that he erased like beings, like living beings. I don't know.
No, they did say plant life.
I know, but I'm saying you can ignore that if you want to, because it's not in the movie.
Oh, it's not implicit. It's not explicitly stated.
But
But he does. But they do keep saying half of all life, and plants are scientifically categorized as living things.
Like algae, the amount of oxygen algae produces for us.
You lose half the bacteria living in you, which you kind of need to survive. So actually, the effects would probably be a lot worse than what we saw.
Yeah. That's why I'm just saying, you can't.
Yeah, it is one of those things. Like, it's a movie. Don't think about it so much, okay? Yeah. All right. Well, that was our little spoilery talk, spoiler cast for Avengers Endgame. Our collective thoughts, as it were, and maybe we brought some things that you noticed, and maybe others you didn't. But what do you guys think? Now that you've had a chance to see the movie, or you've just had it spoiled by us, what do you think about it? Do you think that it was better or not quite as good as Infinity War? Which side do you fall on? Maybe we should do a Civil War thumbnail here. You know,
I'm Captain America.
fine. I like Iron Man better anyway. But yeah, leave your comments in the comments section where they belong below.